different from the ones that we've previously seen, which I counted, I think, 2 wrongs from Trump today, which is way lower than I was expecting. There was way more substance in this debate than the previous debate, which was great. American citizens needed to hear it. And I particularly liked how Trump wanted to be civil in an adult way, which was not seen much. We're going to get into policies first. Kayla?
Trump caught us off guard, so thank you, Trump, for being a good person. No, this is okay.
I'm guessing, since we are talking about his turn of a new leaf in this debate, I kind of wanted to address the fact that although he did turn over a new leaf, during times Trump showed his true colors by the way he was rude and unprofessional, and his unprofessionalism is still being shown. How is that unprofessionalism going to just go away? Are you going to just put on a good face when you're in front of the camera and there's plenty of people around?
More interestingly, in this debate, that was almost necessary, which we'll elaborate on more, about a slight, which we all could see, bias towards Hillary Clinton by the moderator.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that the Clinton campaign hired the moderator for tonight's debate. I feel like the moderator was against Trump, to be totally honest with you. You heard side questions to Trump that Clinton didn't get the same for. So when he interrupted Trump while he was talking about immigration, he gave time limits, saying, your time is almost done, your time is almost done, okay, let's stop talking and give it to Clinton. And he gave Clinton a lot of time to talk on certain issues.
However, I feel that was mainly necessary due to the fact of Trump's previous action, the way that he...
Well, I'll interrupt you there and say, Trump was a lot better than the previous debates. And I have to say, in my opinion, if he was like that in every single previous debate, he would have a great chance of winning the U.S. presidency. But I think he's too late. I think he took a little too long to be civil, and it hurts him in the upcoming election.
I think the American people will like to see that side of Donald Trump a little bit more, though.
But is it believable? Is the question.
Well, that's the question.
That is a question. Guess you have to answer it.
I want to start about the gun Second Amendment topic. There's a huge difference in the policies here. Clearly, Trump is an advocate for the Second Amendment, in which he strongly stated in this debate very loudly, which is good. And I want to think about how a lot of people are upset whenever anything is talked about taking guns or regulating the Second Amendment. And I want to see a poll about what the percentage of Americans are that are actually owning guns, to see how many people that would affect.
Do you have something to say?
I was just going to say that I think it's very important that the American people, as well as the candidates, fully distinguish the difference between taking away your Second Amendment right and a regulation that still protects your Second Amendment right.
Yes.
A regulation does not mean I'm just slashing or I'm trying to change or take away. There's a difference. And with research that's been done, it's saying that 9 out of 10 states that has the highest related gun deaths in this country has received an F on their gun laws. And vice versa, states that have lower gun-related deaths have more regulation and a higher quality of their gun laws. Not saying that there's causation, but there is some type of correlation between gun-related deaths and the laws in place for those guns.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up, one of our assistants actually got us a hold of one of the Trump hats that he was wearing during the debate. And I just wanted to mention, Mr. Trump, did you know your hat is made in China? Or did you know it was made in China? Because he can speak about other countries stealing our money and jobs when he himself is getting his merchandise made in those same countries. So, I'm just going to put that over there.
Simultaneously, Trump can also also say that other countries are feeding or stealing American jobs, while at the same time, how many of your countries how many of Trump's properties, real estate buildings, hotels, and things are abroad and still under construction abroad? And the reason why is because as a businessman, profit is key.
Next, I want to talk about the policies on immigration, specifically from the Syrian refugees. This is a very important topic to the citizens of the United States, mainly concerning their safety of them and their families. And Hillary brought, no, it was during the interviews that the reporter was asking them about if it's less of a threat for only women or children. And I think you can't ignore, like they said, that women and children could be a threat. Even children can be a threat, even though you might not see it. So I think Trump is right about extreme vetting for them, because that's very important. And you can't just look at a woman or a child and say they're not a threat because they're a woman or a child.
How do you properly vet a child?
I don't know. That's
What type of measures are you going to do to vet a child?
Well, when you think of it, they're coming from a country that doesn't have the best records on their civilians, and these refugees, for instance, could be undocumented. So, you know, putting that idea out that we should take millions of these Syrian refugees into our country would be just, it wouldn't be possible and it wouldn't be probable because of these lack of records, and you can't accurately find out who they are and what they're doing and what they're from.
And going on that, clearly he's looking for people, members of terrorist groups such as ISIS. And I thought it was very interesting, didn't expect it, but when ISIS was brought up, or the fight against terrorism was brought up, Trump immediately went to boots on the ground. And I don't know if that's such a good move for him, specifically because we've been in wars for as long as I can remember. And I think the American people are kind of sick of that and don't want our own boots on the ground again.
Another point that I thought was interesting was during the topic of immigration as well as illegal immigration, Trump's standpoint was saying that yes, this is the melting point. He's agreeing that this is the melting pot. But at the same time, you have no idea where your wife is from.
You know, mistake or not, you know, how can you believe a candidate that says he has the women vote, he has never been good to women as possible, but when he doesn't even know where his third wife is from? It's not Russia, Mr. Trump, it's Yugoslavia, the former Yugoslavia. So.
And then at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, isn't his first wife was married to a fellow skier to obtain her citizenship, to a fellow Olympic skier to obtain her citizenship. And now his third wife is under investigation for trying to prove the legitimacy of her claim by having an illegal job as a model without having the proper visa.
Yeah, that credibility goes down the tank. But on the topic of immigration, I don't think I heard build that wall once. But I was expecting him to talk about that. And what do you guys think about an actual wall on our borders? Do you think that's a bad look for Trump?
Well, you know, multiple sources have shown that this wall is almost impossible to build. The amount of money that it would take to build this wall, including the manpower that it would take, would easily take up, if he wins 2 election seasons, it would take up those 2 and more. So I don't see this as really a good thing at all, or any really, I just can't see it happening.
I can't either, because it raises the question, first of all, you're trying to pin another country to pay for a wall that you want to instill. And by putting a wall and separating us from others, isn't that only going to cause more tension and add to the separation as opposed to bringing the world together?
Well, and 2 is when he went down to Mexico to meet with the president, the days up before, he constantly said, I'm going to say write to the Mexican president, you're going to pay for the wall. You're going to help me build it. You're going to pay for it. However, when he gets to it, not a single word about the wall, which makes me think, how is his foreign policy and his diplomacy going to work when he can't speak to the actual president of the country about what he has been saying to us for the past 8-9 months?
Next, I want to mention that I was again surprised that Trump didn't go on the attack about Hillary's emails at all throughout the debate. I mean, well, once or twice, but no, not into an extensive detail that I thought he would have. Also, we didn't hear much about tax returns from Trump or anything like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Hillary Clinton has the highest, the lowest trustworthiness of any candidate, which is amazing.
And, they're both highly untrustworthy. That's why I mentioned, if Hillary Clinton didn't have Trump in this election, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Trump has allowed Hillary Clinton to win this presidency, in my opinion. If Hillary Clinton didn't have Trump running against her, I don't think she would have had any chance. Any other Republican candidate, again, in my opinion, would have easily been able to defeat Hillary Clinton, but they chose Donald Trump, and this is